This video will help to describe and demonstrate some of the aspects of picking through Inventory Mirror. Two main screens that we're going to be dealing with here are the website screen, which you're familiar with already if you're a Listing Mirror user. This is where you're going to kind of deal with the creation and management of your pick groups. And then this screen hidden behind the main one is a replica. It's an Android emulator. So it shows the phone interface of an Android phone. It can also be used with an iPhone as well. Just chosen to use an Android for the demo. The warehouse worker would use the phone to go ahead and pick the objects off the shelf. So they would use either the phone's camera or a barcode scanner that they can attach to. But we'll get back to the screen momentarily. Inventory Mirror, the predominance of it lives under the Inventory tab, under the Inventory sub-tab, but for picking, you'll go underneath Orders and Show All Orders. So here we have all the order information here. The main ones to take note of at this point in time are picked, and then right here next to status. So first picked, it's green check mark if it's already been picked, and if nothing, then it means the order has not been picked yet. If you have a red exclamation point, this would be if the order was back ordered. So say you had an order come in for 10, you believed you had 10 on the shelves, you get there and you only had 8, well then the order will become back ordered, or you could also split the order to send out the 8 and then send the 2 later. But let's take a look at some of the other screens you'll be dealing with here. One of the main important things with pick groups is setting your pick group size. The pick group size is underneath business settings. You'll scroll to the bottom, find pick group size. So this is the desired max quantity of items that will belong to a pick group. So if you have an order for 5 objects, so let's say order A is 5 objects, order B is 5 objects, and order C is 5 objects. If you have a desired pick group of 10, one pick group will be made of A and B. Order C will go into its own pick group because 5 and 5 is 10, and then anything over that obviously would be exceeding the pick group size. If the orders were A had 3, B had 4, and C had 3, then all 3 would belong to one pick group. Also, you can take a look at previous pick groups by going underneath the Orders tab, clicking on previous pick groups, and here are 2 that I already have made, 907 and 906. You click into the pick group to see the orders that belong to it, what the SKU is and how many, and the description. You can also take note of the status of the pick group. If it is unpicked, obviously none of the items have been picked for that pick group yet. If you have a status of pick in progress, that means the pick has started but not completed. And of course, if it's completed, that means the pick is completed. Again, quantity right here, and then delete if it's unpicked and you want to create that order in a different pick group. But let's get to picking. Go back to our Show All Orders page, and we'll click off a few orders that we want to grab. If you'll recall, my desired pick group size was 10. So right now I have 4. I'll add this one in. I'll be at 9. And I'll add in, let's say, this guy right here. So I'll be at 14, which means I should get 2 pick groups. Something to note right here is that when you're creating pick groups, you have to pick orders that are all coming from the same source. So if one of these was default 2 or East Warehouse, I can't pick 2 different inventory sources at the same time. I would have to create pick groups separately. So I have my 3 orders desired orders selected. I'll click bulk actions, go down to pick orders, click pick orders, and now we have our 2 pick groups created. Pick group 909 and pick group 908. So these 2 items obviously belong to this pick group because the desired pick group size was 10. This gets to 9, which is close as it can get without going over. So this is another pick group that's created there. So you would go ahead, click print picking slip, and you'll see that this is the picking/packing slip you could give to your warehouse worker to grab and then go off and pick the orders. We'll back out of this for a second, and this is where the warehouse worker would take over. So they'll go ahead and log in. We have joe@joe.com. He will log in, and these are the 2 warehouses that I have since we're dealing with default 1. I'll click on default 1, this is a picking process, so they'll go down to pick. And then we can go ahead and input our pick group. You could also scan it with the barcode scanner, but since I don't have one handy at the moment, I can go ahead and also type in @p-908, and that is the pick group number right here, 908. Go ahead, send that through, and it will show us the pick group items that we have for that pick group, which is 2 separate items. We have one at quantity 5 and one at quantity 4, and these are the locations that they are at. So I have them labeled as location. The first one is the aisle, the second one is the shelf, and the third one is the bin. You can have up to 5 locations and name them whatever you want. As far as the naming of the separate locations, numbers and letters will work best. So the worker would then click Start Picking. He'll go to the location where FDC is and scan that. I can also, again, just input that right here and then type in FDC. When they get to that location, they'll scan that SKU 0056 if it's found, or say SKU not found if it's not there. SKU is there, so I can just go ahead and type that in. SKU-119880056. Go ahead, scan that in. Good. Now it tells the worker to pick 4 of this. Select picked all if the quantity was available, or enter a different quantity. So let's say that you have 13 at the shelf, right, in your inventory records, but there's only 3 there. They could input 3, right, and then that would indicate that it's time to do a cycle count and recount all the inventory in that area in case there are other items that are not up to par with what is on your records. But since there are 4 available for this example, I'll say I've picked them all. Great. It'll send me to the next location. I'll quickly type this in to take us there. So at L for location, G, F, G. I'm there, and one thing I want to note before, let me put this in, then I'll make a quick note of that. 119880054. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I need to grab 5. Something to note right here is that this is the SKU I will be looking for. All right, so I will go back to my inventory component, or my inventory location. I can go ahead, search for that SKU, and great, the SKU, what it says is at that location of GFG, I have 8 in quantity there. So if I'm here now and the warehouse worker goes there and they hit picked all, or any quantity for that matter, but they say they hit picked all, which is 5 in this case, they pick all, great. I go back here, I should refresh and see that now we're down to 3, and this also dropped down as well from 11 to 6 because 5 had been picked. So here are all the items you've picked. It tells the warehouse worker, select delivered when the items have reached their destination. So let's go ahead and select delivered. We select delivered, and it will take us back to the main screen once the items have been delivered to the shipper. Anyway, that's a general overview of the picking process for Inventory Mirror. Hopefully you enjoyed it.